Sup y'all, it's Robacus and welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. On the last episode, I promised to talk to these people and make sure that everyone is good. In a secret place hidden from our enemies. Concerned guard, let's see. The guard stands at attention when he sees you, but his eyes glow with excitement.
Whoa! I didn't think I would ever see a new face around here. Well, at least not one that isn't baring its fangs or decomposing. Forgive my bluntness. Everyone's happy you're here, of course, but I'm especially glad to see you. Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense now. I tend to start blabbering when I get nervous.
How does it feel to guard the same place for so many years?
To tell you the truth, I don't even notice the years as they pass. I just get up every day and do my job. Of course, I could go visit the scholars, look at the calendars and be horrified, but what would be the point? Even before the demons showed up, I made a vow to defend this temple. That vow is all I have left. Really, Sakaris, that I knew is gone anyways, you know. It's been so long. So there's no dwelling on the past.
You're especially happy to see me. What does that mean? The guard looks around quickly to make sure no one's listening.
I would have never thought I'd say this, but there's an important matter that can only be entrusted to a stranger. I think there's a traitor among us, someone who's trying to bring the demons here. I found a strange letter hidden in a cave, and I think we need to find out who left it there and why.
Why haven't you told Elandria or Kater about the letter?
Just imagine what'll happen if Elandria announces there's a traitor among us. Even if it turns out that I'm wrong, the damage would already be done. If we stop trusting one another, we won't stand a chance. Might as well leave the temple and let the demons finish us off. No, we need to get to the bottom of this, but it must be done quietly.
What was in the letter you found?
That's the problem, I don't know. I think it's some kind of code. It looks like a constellation chart, but who hides a constellation chart in a cave? No, something's wrong here.
Alright, I'll help you out. What do you need me to do?
Here's the plan. You'll go to the caves and hide behind a large stone covered in runes. Watch to see who comes to pick up the letter. I left it there as bait, and I made sure to leave everything else untouched. No one has come for it yet, but when you find out who has betrayed us, come and tell me.
Why not set the ambush up yourself?
I wouldn't be able to do anything without people noticing whoever left the note knows I'm here in the corridors. And when I'm off duty, well, you know, if I suddenly disappear, the traitor would definitely suspect something. No, for this we need an outsider. Someone who can move around more freely. We need you.
Alright then, I have to go.
May Palura keep you safe.
Who's this guy? Perula's Fall Guard? I've never liked crowds in cities. I could spend another 100 years in this temple. Okay, cool. Small mushroom patch. Stargazer? Okay, so we can go talk to him. Never liked crowds in cities. Okay, so you guys are all weird. Ooh, what's this?
Can't hide from me.
It's a knife. Okay. Ambush the traitor, okay. A dark figure stealthily approaches the drop location. In the dim light, you can see it's a middle-aged man. He looks around fervently as he reaches for the letter. Are you looking for something? Vestari. The man jumps like a startled rabbit. He looks terrified. Are you the commander from Dresden? I was just taking a walk. My name is Vestari. Pleased to meet you. Why are you mumbling? Tell me the truth, or I'll shake it out of you. Ooh, succeeded with an intimidate. Vistari sighs deeply. Alright. You don't live in this temple, so there's no need to hide anything from you. I'm breaking the law, but I haven't betrayed anyone. It's quite the opposite, actually. You should come with me and ask Christy about the meaning of the note. Christy always says she doesn't want to hide anymore, so maybe talking to you will help ease her conscience. Okay, I think it's a love letter, guys. Just letting you guys know. I'm gonna take the note though. Oh, my friends are just hiding around the corner. Okay. Come on, team, let's go.
I will guide us.
Is that an angel? It is. No, it's not. I don't know what the heck that is. It might be a celestial. They just have snake bodies for some strange reason. Right, there's Alondria. We already talked to her. Stargazers and guards. I don't think will say anything. Yeah, see. Okay, how about Monadic Deva? Okay, never mind. I'm not listening. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it.
We march ahead.
Okay, so we got Qatar here. Qatar's gaze is clear and direct as he greets you. I'm listening. Okay, I don't know if there's anything I have to talk to him about. I have to go. 1 second. Let me make sure that
I will see this through.
that wasn't what I agreed to do, right? Okay. Um Trying to figure out if there was something. Okay, Odin, Teriel, Alondria, and Ragnard. Okay. So Qatar's not one of the people I need to talk to. Sorry guys, I have throat thing going on.
I will guide us.
So Alondria is actually one of them that I need to talk to. Okay. Why did you ask me to talk to the temple's inhabitants? Are you worried about something? My request to you was made on impulse. To put it simply, a heavy burden has been placed on our shoulders, and it's easy to grow weary. We not only live in complete isolation, but we have done so for a very long time. An entire lifetime for some races. I'm afraid many will be broken by this ordeal, if they have not already been. It would be easier if I could be dispassionate, like Kater, but I cannot. I worry for those in my care. I feel like a mother who cannot protect her child from pain and grief. When I saw you, I hoped you'd be a breath of fresh air, that your presence would renew and restore our spirits. Okay, thank you for your time. Good luck. Yeah, I'm not reading the rest of that. I gotta talk to the other inhabitants. The Stargazer. Okay.
Let us press on.
Lilin Azada. Okay, well, we got this book. Okay, I think I can talk to these people. Nindalov, a dark-haired woman, is absorbed in sketching an assortment of dagger blades lying on the ground before her. The thick sketchbook beside her are also filled with drawings of weapons. Suddenly aware that she is being watched, the woman looks up from her work with exclamation of surprise. Oh, a visitor in the temple! Your weaponry is so interesting. Ah, I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Nidalov. I don't know if that's how you say it, but whatever. The priestess of Polara, mistress of the stars, and farewells. What are you drawing? By a stroke of luck, I came across some blades belonging to ritual daggers. They were just lying in a box in some dusty corner. Just imagine Sakarian art stored away in the temple and then forgotten. So this is what I do in my spare time. I gather items that once made our nations famous and make sketches, and whatever I cannot find, I draw from memory. During the first 20 years of our imprisonment, I sketched our traditional clothing and adornments. I tried to account for all the clans, even those that had perished and disappeared before the opening of the world room. Luckily, items from all across Sakaris are stored in our temple. They were once brought as gifts for the funeral rites of chieftains. Then I switched to cookware and then wood carvings. The wood carvings took me almost half a century, since that was one of the main art forms practiced in Sakaris. Now I have moved on to weaponry. When I'm finished, it will be the most complete collection of sketches on the subject of Sakarian art. At the very least, these items will be preserved on paper. Okay, I found an unusual dagger on an undead corpse not far from the temple. Nidalev's eyes light up. Oh, I recognize the workmanship. Daggers like this tell a story of our great pride and great sorrow. Did you know this temple used to be the gate through which Sakarian chieftains passed into eternity? When the rivers flowed with water, barges would depart from Iz, carrying the bodies of the deceased chieftains. Once the bodies arrived here and the proper rituals were observed, the dead were sent on their final journey. The burial bars would be set on fire, and the chieftains would set off on their last journey aboard the flaming vessel. I myself performed such rites for 2 chieftains, but the whirlwind did not spare our sacred waterfall, or our dead. When the waters began to dry up, the cultists of Kabari turned the bodies of the chieftains into undead. Oh, that's terrible. We sheltered behind the walls of our temple, all the while knowing that our noble chieftains had been made into monsters. They roamed the area, killing the refugees who were trying to flee the dying Sakaris. What an ignominious end?
Ignominious.
It means deserving or causing public disgrace or shame. Yep, ignominious. Nadalev's voice sounds more angry than sad. Forgive me. This wound has not healed yet, and likely never will. But if you can, bring peace to our chieftains and bring me their weapons. At least 21 of the monsters raised by these cultists still remain. Okay? What can you tell me about this place? Okay. Shoot, I think I have to do another quest. She says, nothing that you couldn't learn from others. This ancient temple is one of the most sacred of all Sakaris. After the wound opened, it turned into the secret enclave of resistance, of course. We don't fight the demons directly, but our knowledge will help us defeat them someday, once and for all. Who better to take up such a burden than us? Of course, we did not expect Lady Pelora to prolong our mortal lives, but I'm glad of her gift. I would gaze at the stars for another 100 or even 200 years if it would help us succeed in our mission.
What can you tell me about your leaders, Alandria and Kater?
They've certainly known how to make an impression, don't they? They are as different as day and night, but that is their strength, and therefore ours as well. Kater is our protector. He is a rock and anchor against the storms, holding fast against the tide of demon horns. Alandria is our guiding star. She has been a leader to others since childhood, and I should know. I follow her here to the temple. Alright, I have to go now. Thank you. I think that was the end of that.
We march
Stargazer, Astral Diva, open this door. Anybody in here? Okay, so I talked
Our
to these
path leads
people.
on.
Okay, cool. It's like some kind of whatchamacallit,
I will guide us.
astrology thing going on. Okay. Probably somebody in here we can talk to, right? Odin. The dwarf looks critically at a table that's been set for a feast.
There, plates, cutlery. Still no nice cups. Though, just have to wrap
The present, and the dwarf notices you and gives you a friendly smile.
We finally have guests in our quiet abode. Please, come in, have a glass of water. Unfortunately, there's nothing else I can offer you. But our water is it is of the very purest quality. I'm Odin, by the way, a stargazer at your service. What's the occasion? My daughter, Rahild, turns 125 today. Such an important date calls for an important gift. But where could I get such a present? Well, luckily, there's a soft stone in the local caves, and I've carved her a clasp for a cloak. Came out alright. I think, of course, when we complete our star vigil, I'll get her something better. Hey, seems like only yesterday she was running around in her little shift, asking me to toss her in the air. And now 100 years, 25, how time flies.
Where's the guest of honor?
Odin wilted slightly. Truth be told, I don't know. I can only hope she is safe with her mother and aunts.
Do you see the packages in the corner? Those are all gifts I've never had a chance to give her. I suppose she's outgrown most of them. But what if I'm a grandpa now, eh? My grandchildren could have them. Heh, I wish I knew for sure. Odin pauses to think. Wait, you're from Dresden. You must know about the Winter Sun Valley. There's a temple of Gorum there 100 years ago. Maybe it's still there. I know that the priests of Gorum were hiding my family and other refugees when the invasion began. Please go to the temple and search for anything or anyone that might provide answers about what happened to my family. Even if the truth is bitter, I want to know. I can't remain in blissful ignorance forever.
Very well, I'll find your daughter. You're putting aside your own important affairs just to help me?
I don't know how to thank you. Odin gives you a small package. It's been carefully wrapped in parchment and tied neatly with a string. If you find Ranhild, please give this to her. Let her know that her daddy always remembers her birthday. And give her all my love and good wishes.
Pure water is very rare in the womb. Do not underestimate its value.
Of course. But from time to time, something stronger wouldn't hurt, eh? Odin chuckles good-naturedly. But we have strict rules about such things. A stargazer can't be seeing double, can he?
I have to go now.
Go, and fear nothing. The stars will be your guide. Okay, cool. Alright, here's Teriel. Teriel, an elf stargazer, studying a pile of parchments. His appearance is disheveled, and his attention seems to be entirely focused on the calculations in front of him.
And again, I knew it. That confirms everything.
When the elf notices your presence, he looks up from his work.
The commander of Dresden? Incredible. I never thought I'd hear those words. My name is Teriel, and I am a stargazer. Tell me this, Commander. You make the rules in Dresden, but do you also abide by them?
Yes, as a commander, I must set an example for my soldiers. Teriel looks at you in disbelief.
Such noble words. It's been a long time since I've seen a leader who doesn't think they are above the rules. You must know the person I'm talking about, of course. Kater.
Are you accusing Kater of something?
I've known him for ages. Trust me. We were close friends for a long time. He certainly knows how to make a good impression. But if you look beyond his fake exterior, you'll begin to see his true nature.
Teriel points to the parchments, which are filled with columns of strange digits and symbols.
Look for yourself. It's obvious. A week ago, it was the stone tree. 3 months ago, it was the outskirts of Wintersun. And 20 years ago, it was outside of Dresden. 50 years ago, it was Iz. And finally, 70 years ago, the stone tree. I assume he's visiting someone, most likely a woman.
Teriel glances at you and frowns.
Ah, yes, forgive me. I haven't spoken to anyone about this for a while. To me, this is clear as day, but I can understand how you might find my calculations confusing. The stars tell me about Kater's movements, and I can assure you, sometimes he goes to places that are not filled with demons and cultists, but with wine and women. He's a womanizer, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Take Dresden, for example.
Teriel.
You see, Katar has forbidden everyone who remained in the temple from seeing their family. He says it's dangerous, and that we must keep the secret of our lair.
The elf's lips curled with distaste.
But for some reason, this rule doesn't apply to him. We all vowed to stay within these walls and fulfill our duty. Yet he gets to leave the temple whenever he wants. So what is it he's up to out there? I'd bet my life he's going to go see his wife, Ymris, or some other woman. What other reason could he have to go to the stone tree?
What is the stone tree?
It's a tree, a tall tree, withered and petrified even before the demons invaded. For some reason, it remains standing. It's supposed to be a sacred place, that they hold together. I mean, they used to hold celebrations and weddings there. Ymris and Kater got married there too, you know. So, it makes sense.
Why don't you tell Elandria that Kater is breaking the rules?
Do you really think she'd believe me? She trusts Kater more than any of us. She and Kater agree on everything. She'll always take a side.
I mean, Dresden was still under control of the demons 20 years ago. If you'd really been keeping an eye on Kater, you'd know that.
You're right. I keep forgetting about that thing that happened in Dresden. It's hard to remember everything. But on one thing, I am absolutely clear. Kater went to the stone tree 70 years ago, and I know that because we haven't spoken since then.
A shadow falls across Teriel's face, but his sadness quickly gives way to anger.
Well, of course. I have no need to keep track of his comings and goings. Why would I, when I don't speak to him? But when he's been away for a long time, Elandria asked me to check on him, to make sure he's still alive. That's why I have these calculations. So you see, it's nothing personal. I simply want what's best for the temple.
Alright then. I'll find out what Kater is up to. Teriel nods in satisfaction.
Excellent. He definitely stopped at the stone tree. I wouldn't be surprised if he's cozying up to some beauty from Wintersun in a cave somewhere. He's probably feasting with her and laughing at us fools for trusting him.
Okay, well, I have to go.
May Pelura keep you safe. Now, where did I put my quill?
Dang, that guy is definitely paranoid. Stargazer Reginald. A pale young man is staring at you.
Incredible. I didn't think anyone could find this place. You are a gift from heaven. Oh, forgive my rudeness. I'm Reginald, a stargazer. I'm very pleased to meet you. I think you might be the only one who can help me.
Why am I the only one who can help you?
The undead roam near the entrance of our caves. They were once great warriors, but now they're just corpses, raised to undeath through some foul ritual. I've become very interested in one of them. You see, I studied the history of Socorus. Legend tells of a great ruler by the name of El Barel Ega, or however you pronounce it, who was buried with his mighty sword, the Rage of Ice. Of course, most people think it's just a myth, but when the guards told me they defeated an undead that was wearing an ancient armor and wielding an ornate sword, I almost lost my mind. The guards don't want to get near the corpse again, even if he really is dead this time. But maybe you could bring me the Rage of Ice? Just think, we could prove Algebra and the Master of His really existed. It'd be a breakthrough in historical research.
Alright then, I'll bring you the sword.
Yeah, I don't know how to thank you.
Well, a young man such as yourself might find it difficult to be stuck in one place for so long.
Oh, a young man, you say? I've long forgotten how old I really am. By Pelura's grace, my body doesn't age, but my soul feels dry, as if I'm nothing more than an empty husk. I used to admire the stars, but now all I see are a collection of dim lights in the sky. I know their paths by heart, but...
He stops abruptly.
But you're probably not interested in all that.
You're absolutely right, and I have to go.
It must be nice to have somewhere to go.
Take a look.
Oh shoot, there's another dagger over there.
Let us press on.
How many daggers are there? I could like just keep giving daggers to this lady. Is there a book right here? Cool.
We march ahead.
Okay, one other dude here. We got Christy and the lovebirds. 1 second.
Our path leads on.
Christy greets you anxiously as if expecting the worst. Are you the commander from Dresden? Although I don't know why I asked. It's not like you could be anyone else. Listen, Christy, the commander... I don't think the commander wishes us harm. If you want to ease our conscience, tell him everything. Vistara said you could decipher this letter. Christy, of course, because I'm the one who put the constellations there in the first place. The lantern barrier is a warden, so it means guard. The stranger is an observing eye, so that means we've been exposed. And the sleeping Tarask means we need to lie low and be more cautious. Christy looks at you, her face a mixture of hope and defiance. Vistari also said that you confessed something to Elandria. Yes. I want to confess to Elandria and our entire community that Vistari and I love each other. We've loved each other for so long. We're practically married. We're an old couple almost at this point, you know? We've been together for so long. I'm pretty sure if you guys have been doing this for so long, it's pretty obvious to everybody else, but okay. Elandria is against romantic unions because she thinks tempestuous passions will cause division in our community, but she doesn't understand the nature of love. You can discipline the flesh, but you can't restrain your soul. Goodness gracious, you sound hilarious. Not that Elandria would believe us, but Vistari and I really did try to resist our feelings. We made a vow to stay away from one another, to never again break the rules. But the bonds between us proved stronger than our resolve. Perhaps It's the will of the stars, and despite everything that's happened, we are simply two halves that are meant to be one whole. If Sakaris hadn't fallen, we'd have lived happily and freely. We wouldn't have to hide, and we wouldn't have to exchange stupid notes. These notes aren't stupid. Do you really want us to be torn apart? Forbidden from seeing one another? Alondria is a kind and wise leader. I will persuade her not to stand in the way of your love. Christy looks at you doubtfully. I've known her longer than you. Of course, Alandria is kind, but she is also very stubborn. Once she has made a decision, there's no point in trying to change her mind. She and Katara are much alike in that regard, except he always does what's right, and she always does what her heart tells her. And of course, her heart has told her that love should be forbidden, supposedly for the sake of peace in the community. Ha! These stupid rules haven't helped anyone find peace. Okay, well, bye.
I will guide us.
I think I talked to everybody now. But let me go find out where Qatar's been going, because that guy is obviously a hypocrite. There he is. I'm listening. Tell me about Sikoris. I would rather not answer that question. Okay, that's cool, because I'm not interested in what you have to say. I'm sorry, that was rude. It's just, not many can boast that their country has been wiped off the face of Gloria. Not conquered, not decimated, but wiped out, along with all its people, cities, forests, and rivers. And I watched it happen with my own eyes. I don't want to remember what everything was like before. Do you know anything about Arulu, Verlish, and opening of the world wound? May that witch be darned for all eternity, along with her progeny, if she has any. Yes, I know about her, though not much. There was no respect for arcane magic in Sikoris, and there were no reasons for our distrust. Divine spellcasters always have someone above them, someone who can control them. A dishonorable priest or a paladin will lose their powers immediately. Even with the priest of an evil god, an enemy, you still always know who they are and what to expect from them. But there's no higher authority for wizards, nothing limiting their might or their experiments with their very essence of the world. Our elders tried to control their chaos as best as they could, but they did not wish to be harsh. They didn't execute offenders on the spot. They simply put them in prisons. Wizards weren't even forbidden from practicing magic. They simply had to do it under the supervision. But Arulu, everything went wrong with her. The witch managed to reach out to Discari directly from the fortress where she was being held, and then served up her country on a silver platter to the Lord of the Abyss. How did you manage to keep your life in this temple a secret? We made everyone believe Perulu's fall was destroyed along with Sikoris. We staged the destruction of the temple. It was 100 years now. It was 100 years ago now. But those of us who had families didn't get to say goodbye. We couldn't let anyone from the outside know we were still alive and hiding in the temple. Since then, only a few of the most experienced rangers are allowed to leave the temple and go on raids. We do it secretly, pretending to be crusaders or cultists. And we go to great lengths to ensure we are not followed. So far, our tactics have been successful. We've survived here for 100 years, and I hope things continue that way. Locked up for hundreds of years to keep their watch? Forgotten by everyone? Sounds familiar. Noticing Katara's eyes on him, Blonde bows his head politely. Okay, oh, I'm not judging. Your post, your watch. Alright, well, I guess I have to go because I can't figure out where you were going. Okay.
Let us press on.
Alright, let's talk to Alondria. I want to talk to you about the Stargazers, Vistari and Christri. Alondria looks up and sighs. Vistari and Christri, my dear rebels. You must think I am harsh for enforcing such strict rules here in the temple. But such measures are necessary when you live through decades of isolation in such a small community, shut off from the rest of the world. Love and all the jealousy, discord, quarrels, and breakups that go along with it could result in genuine disaster. Vistari and Christi are the living embodiment of such a disaster. I love them with all my heart, like they are my own children. However, before the temple was hidden 100 years ago, they could have 5 quarrels and 6 reconciliations, all between one moonrise and the next. At other times, they would go a month without talking to one another. That created quite the problem, since stargazers are supposed to share their observations and research. This carried on for years, until a particularly public fracas had decided to forbid all romantic relationships in the temple. It was an impulsive decision, I admit. But it was not made without reason. I was trying to maintain peace in our community, and I was also concerned for the feelings of others. Many of those you see here, Odin, Teriel, and even Katar himself, parted with their families for the sake of our mission. It is unfair for them to be the only ones so painfully deprived. So that is why love and relationships are now forbidden in the community. And as you can see, the rules are largely the result of Vistari and Christie's own actions. Okay, so my diplomacy has to be, I have to beat a 27. I have put so many points in diplomacy. I'm going to be mad if I fail this. You've lived here for many years. You've become a family. Does a family reward love with punishment? Vistari and Christy have loved each other for a long time. It's not just a sudden whim. They deserve your acceptance. Yes, I succeeded. Woo! Alondria is silent for a long time. I'm afraid this decision will be the most difficult for Odin, Teriel, and the others who have lost their families. It may also cause chaos in the future, but perhaps you're right. We should not try to thwart their desires, especially those of the heart. I will inform the community about the change to the rules. Okay. I have all the resources of the crusade at my disposal. I'm sure we can assist in your work. I do not think that's possible. This is our life's work. It requires endless devotion and can only be completed by followers of Pelora in her sacred temple. No one can aid us in this task. However, Alondria hesitates. There is other work we were forced to abandon because we lack the strength, time, and resources. We previously explored the possibility of opening new world wounds or improving the existing one. What the heck? Did you know the wound has already undergone a growth spurt of sorts? It's not entirely clear what happened, but the wound suddenly began to expand at a rapid pace, and the energies of the abyss poured out of it. We tried to discover what triggered it, so that we could prevent it from happening again. Research on that subject ended several decades ago, but we can give you everything we've managed to discover. However, you should be careful. This is dangerous knowledge, and it must not fall into the wrong hands. Okay? I don't think I need to know about anything else, so I've finished talking to the temple's inhabitants. Can we conduct the ritual now? Are you sure? After the ritual, you'll have to leave Pelora's fall. I think I changed my mind. Tell me about your mission. The temple has been blessed by Pelora. Whether it's day or night, the stars are always visible within the heart of the sanctuary. It is why those who study the stars conduct their observations here. Moreover, if we ever hope to understand the world, the only place to study it is within its very borders. If we leave Pelora's fall, all the work we have done over the past 100 years will be lost. You may be wondering why this work is so important. The answer is simple. We are looking for a way to heal the world wound once and for all. Through our many years of study, we have discovered that the world wound cannot be closed by an ordinary portal or planar gate, because it's too much like a living creature, always growing and changing. The world wound does not simply exist on its own. There is something else that sustains it, and until we understand what that is, our efforts to close it will never succeed. However, we've achieved much over the years. We have disproved numerous theories and trialed various research methods. Tracking oscillating energy levels across the whirlwind led us to an important discovery. The whirlwind has a heart of sorts, at the place where the whirlwind was first opened, the Threshold Fortress. We've also found a way to weaken the heart along with the demons that inhabit it. We will imbue a mighty artifact with both the power given to us by Pelora and the memory of the priest of Sakuras. It will weaken the connection between the Threshold Fortress and the Abyss. This artifact will clear the sky above the fortress and set a sacred northern star ablaze. Even if this doesn't heal the wound, it will give strength to those attacking the monstrous heart. There are celestials here as well as mortals. Yes, of course, the priestess nods to the winged creatures standing nearby, and they smile back at her. Angels and Azatas from the court of Lady Pelora often visited the temple in its days of glory. When this place was hidden away, and we were given the mission, some of them decided to stay and support us. Like us, they have not gone beyond these walls for hundreds of years. They helped us here in the temple, and of course, we are all united in our desire to heal the world wound. Okay, tell me about Sakuras. She didn't say anything else that was different. Okay, tell me about Sakuras again. It was a wonderful land, even if many thought it savage and wild. It still lives in my memory, as if nothing has changed. I can see the barges gliding across the surface of the lake. I can smell the fresh air and feel the wind on my skin as it moves through the green forest. Sakuras was never ruled solely by one person, nor was it governed by a single faith. Clans lived in accordance with their own customs and settled important issues through lively debate and communal meetings. Matters involving the whole country were decided and is by gathering of elders, priests, druids, and chieftains. We worshipped Astriel and Pelora, the spirits of their honorable ancestors, the sanctity of nature, and dozens of different deities and magical creatures. That is what Sakuras was, a land of freedom. However, Alandra's eyes grow sad. That freedom was not extended to all. As I think you know, only the magic of druids, priests, and other divine spellcasters was considered honorable. Those who used arcane magic were treated as suspicious, which grew into hatred. It grieves me to remember this, for our hatred was returned to us in full when the witch Arulu took vengeance on those who hurt her. Okay, cool. What do you know about Arulu, by the way, and the opening of the world wound? More than some, but not as much as I wish. I've been to the Threshold, the fortress where outlaw spellcasters were held, and where Arulu conducted her monstrous trials and rituals. I even saw the betrayer in the flesh, Though only briefly, Arulu was rumored to be a dangerous witch. For many years, she had lived in isolation, carrying out strange experiments in deliberate obscurity. But she was noticed in the end. The best witch hunters tried to capture her, and it's said that many of them perished in the attempt. But when I saw her, she was no longer a dangerous enemy. After many, many days in a dungeon, she was nothing more than a pale shadow. I was told her spirit was already broken when she was brought to the threshold, and she gave the guards no trouble. However, I think it's safe to say now that her compliance was simply a ruse, a cunning deception. When the wound opened, she shook the world. My Lady Pelora, in her heavenly wisdom, was one of the first to realize the magnitude of the threat, and sent her priest a vision, along with an order to run and hide. But many couldn't find it within them to obey this order. How could they leave their beloved homeland, their homes, family, and friends? Many of my brothers and sisters perished, losing a hopeless fight against waves and waves of demons. I was destined for a different fate, and so was my shrine. Lady Pelora hid it from the eyes of the demons. I had a vision telling me about the work that needed to be done to avenge the false cures and rid the world of the whirlwind. That was when I learned this difficult task would take a century to complete, and that it would require us to make many sacrifices. But I was willing. Okay, cool. So, thank you for your time. Let me give this knife to the to that girl in the back real quick, and then we're going to finish this quest line and get out of here.
Our path leads on.
Okay, she didn't want the knife. Guess we're just leaving then.
I will guide us.
Okay, I'm ready to go. I finished talking to the temple's inhabitants. Can we conduct the ritual now? We'll have to, leave if you do that. It's fine with me. Such a wonderful light. May it be a beacon to guide. Alondria massages her temple as she emerges from the trance. It worked, but everything was so strange. I saw a place, and the road that led to it, it's south of here, within the boundaries of the whirlwind. But I didn't see Targona. Something separates us from her. She's not on a different plane, and she's not fully on this plane either. However, there is one thing I can say with certainty. The creator of the sword is not dead. Her heart still beats. Desolate hovel has been revealed. Praise heaven. Thank you, righteous Alondria. And you, champion. Is it possible that I could be reunited with my dear sister and champion? This day is joyful indeed. Qatar, I'm afraid this day is not as joyful as you may think, Angel. My scouts have just returned. There's an unknown detachment moving in this direction. They look like cultists, and they're coming straight towards us. Like they know we're here. I'm not sure what's going on, but we have to stop them. Could someone have discovered the secret of Pelora's fall? My heart is filled with worry. For the temple and its brave inhabitants, champion, we must go and help Qatar. Alondria grows pale. Yes, please go with him. You are the knight commander of the crusade, and Qatar is our faithful ranger and protector. Surely, together, you can hold off the cultists. But the herald of Yomade, the light bringer, should remain here. We cannot risk him being seen outside the temple. I'll gather the soldiers and follow the commander and Kater. Do you think that this is related to our arrival? Could they have followed us here? I can't say for sure, but we should expect the worst. You may have been followed, but that doesn't mean they've discovered our secret. And even if they have, we might be able to stop them before they can send back a report to our location. That's why we must take action and quickly move. Alright, let's hurry.
Godspeed. Let us press on. We march ahead.
Should I have turned in that? Here, let me make sure I'm not doing something
Our
dumb.
time has come.
Did I do everything? It's under the mythic quest. Okay. I mean, it's kind of saying that the quest is like been axed, but I'm pretty sure I finished them.
I always did what was right, therefore I became righteous. Does it mean whatever I do now becomes right because I am righteous?
Sunray, have mercy on us. We have failed you. Are these really cultists? Dang it. I don't want to watch the undead kill innocent people.
Yet another obstacle.
Let's go.
Did you see that?
We're doing pretty good.
Let us not hesitate.
Suspicious traveler. Exhausted by their battle with the undead, the alleged cultist sits in weary silence. Only one of them dares to speak. He seems to be the de facto leader. Mercy! We ask for mercy! Suspicious traveler. His shoulders droop slightly, though he tries to appear confident. And in the moment, you suddenly realize you've seen him before. He was in the vision you had when you were in the caves near Canabras. This tall half-elf was among those who betrayed Lariel and offered prayers to the monster that killed him. These past years have aged him, and he's no longer young. Yet despite his gray hair and worn features, his manner and bearing have not changed. He looked at the fallen angel in your vision with the same mixture of boldness and uncertainty that you see before you now. Who are you? State your name, Kater says. He does not lower his weapon. His gaze is stern and unyielding. I recognize him. The one who begs for mercy was among the traitors who lured the angel Lariel into a trap. Cult leader. The leader of the cultists turns pale at the sound of Lariel's name. His lips tremble, but he seems to have lost the ability to speak. You performed an action that was lawful. Wait, what? Traitors and demon worshippers here? We shouldn't have helped them. We must finish what the undead started. Alondria, Kater, stop. We can't kill those who beg humbly for mercy, or we will be no better than the demons. When I look into their souls, I see grief, fear, and repentance, not evil. We must take them to the temple and heal them, then ask questions. Dang it! Priestess, are you out of your mind? You've just revealed our secret to total strangers. Alondria speaks softly, so that only you and Katera can hear. Curtis Jackson, forgive me, and you, Katera, as well. You are a great warrior, the best we have, but I cannot take your side in this. And if I went along with you, I would be ashamed to see my own reflection in the holy waters of Pelura. The priestess raises her voice. I am the High Priestess of Pelura, Sval. Guards, I order you to take these people to the temple, and on the subject of secrets, Commander, you should talk to the prisoners yourself. I believe you too will see the truth of his heart and the absence of evil in his soul. Oh, dude, you're stupid.
Our path leads on.
Can't hide from
Greater
me.
skeleton, berserkers, full plate and great swords.
I won't let you hurt
the
my
heck?
friends.
Take them down.
Your performance is lacking. You are lacking.
Okay, so where are we supposed to go?
I will guide us.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of gold.
Defeat is not an option.
Take them out.
You are beyond redemption.
Oh, crap. Are these raids?
Is this a boss fight?
If they were, they went down pretty quick.
Together we stand. Godspeed.
Dang, there's a lot of gold in this place. I'm just trying to figure out how the heck we're supposed to get out of here. And were these guys like trying to keep us from getting something?
Let us press on.
It's another one of them daggers.
We march ahead.
Here's another one.
We will prevail.
Take them out.
Your performance is lacking. You are lacking. Is this a mock fight?
Our time has come.
Dang.
Our path leads on.
Trying to figure out where we're supposed to go.
I will guide us.
Okay, so this goes back to the shrine. Alright, cool.
Godspeed. Let us press on. We march ahead.
So where are they keeping this dude?
Our path leads on.
Suspicious traveler. Okay, cult leader. Here we go. Cult leader. The cultist looks up at you. His face is worn and haggard. The Temple of Pelura. How strange. I didn't think it survived. Tell me who you are, and what part you played in the death of the angel Larry. The cultist looks down at the floor. My name is... Actually, it doesn't matter. I don't want to reveal the name of my clan and bring shame upon it. And my own name means nothing. I am a Sakurian by birth, but I came to Mendev with refugees when I was a child. I grew up in an orphanage at Iomede's temple, and when I was old enough, I joined the Crusaders there. I was a good scout, inquisitive, daring, not afraid to go into the most dangerous places. At least, that's what my commanding officers thought. In truth, though, I've always just been drawn to the forbidden and dangerous. When the angel came to my commanding officer and asked for a few people to accompany him on a dangerous mission, they chose me. The angel wanted to find the outcasts, those first crusaders who either succumbed to demonic corruption or were accidentally infected. These outcasts then gave birth to mutated children. According to the rumors, they sought refuge in caves beneath Canabras, away from the judging eyes and pyres. I was sent there to look for any traces of their presence, and those caves are deadly. An immense labyrinth of passages running deeper and deeper, all the way down to the Darklands. And after hearing of the angel's plan to descend into the place, someone decided to make it his grave. I probably have no right to ask for forgiveness for what I have done, but I was very young, and I never liked being a crusader. Rising early in the morning, training and marching in formation. I'd been forced to do that my whole life in the orphanage where I grew up. All the children were made to march like little soldiers as soon as they could walk, but he promised something different, something new. He said we shouldn't be afraid of demons. Sure, narrow-minded prigs claimed that demons were murderers and destroyers, but that wasn't true. Demons were actually strong and free, and they were ready to share their power and freedom with anyone who would join them, and I believed him. I often thought about how Arulu Vorlis, an ordinary Sikorian just like me, ascended to incredible highs and heights after she chose to serve Discari. If it worked for her, I thought, why not me? So I agreed to betray the angel. I lied to him and told him I had found outcasts, the ones he was looking for, and lured him into a trap. Do you feel remorse for your actions? Yes, and no. There's such a fine line between remorse and disillusionment. The cultist shakes his head warily. He gave me power just as he promised. I spent years in the cult of Discari, enjoying that power and basking in the adoration of the weak. And yet, well, I saw so many crusaders who fought with honor until their very end. When I looked into their eyes, I remembered the proud, noble spirit of the angel that I had betrayed. I missed the camaraderie, the sincerity. 70 years is a long time, even for a half-elf, and I see many things differently now than I did when I was young. Who is this he you keep talking about? The cultist shudders slightly and whispers, he is the Echo of Discari. He is an avatar of the great demon lord, his archpriest. He once led the fight against the god Arodin, but was defeated. He has never forgotten or forgiven those responsible for his humiliation. The cultist hangs his head, and he knows you are here. He was the one who guided us to this place. He brought us to the wasteland and told us to move forward in search of the unknown. I know that the Herald of the Lightbringer is here with you somewhere. Warn him that the Echo knows he is here. That is all I can do for you. Okay? So there's nothing else he can say.
I will guide us.
These guys don't say anything else. Okay.
Godspeed.
So they're probably up here then.
Let us press on.
Alondria, Katera. Okay, Alondria. You hear the distant sounds of conversation. Alondria and Katera appear to be having an intense discussion. Their voices are not raised, but you can feel the tension between them, like a gathering storm that could break at any moment. I've already apologized for using my powers as the High Priestess to pressure you like I did, but I had to intervene. You would have brought harm to those poor miserable people. I can read souls of others, and when I looked at them, I saw no evil, only fear and grief. Kater, enough, priestess. I don't mind you giving me a tongue lashing. You can scold me as much as you want. I won't be offended. But do not expect me to forget about my duty. I am responsible for the safety of this temple, and that safety is threatened by those cultists. We need to interrogate them, and if necessary, torture them until they reveal the truth of how they came to be here. Was it by chance or by choice? Even if it's the former, letting them go is out of the question. They may not have evil intentions, but they still cannot be trusted. If they prove their innocence, they will remain here as prisoners. My righteous friends, your words are an endless circle. You have gone round and round, but you are no closer to making a decision. Okay? I have learned some important information. The leader of the cultists serves the Echo of the Sky, and the monster knows the hand of the inheritor is here in the temple. The Echo of the Sky. The herald sounds strangely subdued, and his voice is grim. This is an enemy I know. The Echo is a terrible monster, and a formidable foe. Few are his equal. He is an avatar of the Sky, alike in form, but possessing an independent consciousness and unrelenting malice. He's responsible for Lariel's death? No. Don't bother with a reply. I already know the answer. You see, Alandria, we've let a serpent into our house. A servant of a demonic beast. Let me interrogate him, along with the others. They showed up outside the walls at the exact same time as the Herald and the Knight Commander. I do not believe they are here by accident. Enough, Kater. I forbid you from conducting an interrogation. Not just for the sake of those poor people, but for the sake of you as well. Your soul is pure and devoted to duty, but every time you justify bad behavior for a good cause, you take a step towards evil. Priestess and sermons and priestess, since we seem to be paying compliments now, I'll give you some of my own. I know that you're practically a saint, Elandria. We've all believed in the importance of this mission, but it is not just the will of Pelora that keeps us here. It's also you! Your leadership inspires us, but sometimes holiness is not enough. Sometimes someone just has to get their hands dirty and do what needs to be done. Okay, well, enough arguing. Alandra is right. The cultists wish to atone for their crimes, and we must support them on their path to redemption. We mustn't torture them. I already got the answers you need anyways. Fine, I'll go make our cultist friends a feast and some soft feather beds. Kater turns sharply and walks away. Discord among allies. Such a thing weighs on me heavily. Pelora's Fall Guard. Somebody help! It's, the cultist. The one who didn't want to give his name. He started shaking, whispering something, and then this haze surrounded him. All the guards around him lost consciousness. Then he got up and started walking towards the temple entrance, like he was leaving. We don't know what to do. We need to go there. At once. Make haste. Alandria. Pelora, protect us. Let's go there quickly.
We march ahead.
Oh, snap. Maybe Kater was right. I feel bad.
Our path leads on.
conducted a summoning ritual. What have you done, fool? Whom do you summon?
Spare my companions. They didn't do anything. They believed we were looking for shelter in Dresden.
Uh-oh. I think it's boss time, y'all.
I deceived them too, and now I will die. I will become a worm in the abyss. I deserve nothing more.
Echo of Discard. You recognize the monster that towers over the cultist's blood-soaked body. You've seen the beast before. It appeared in a vision you had about the death of Lariel. When you were in the caves beneath Canabras, the monster looks like Discard, a hideous cross between human and locust. It sways on its thin legs as its head turns from side to side. However, it does not seem to be frightened or aggressive. On the contrary, it seems strangely calm, as if completely unaffected by its current surroundings. Echo of Discard.
In anticipation of your questions, I will provide you with some answers. Yes, you have fallen into my trap. Even you fell for it, hand of the upstart. It has been many years since I caught your angel in the caves beneath Canabras and allowed him to leave his flaming sword in the stone. He promised that sooner or later, someone would remove it, and I decided to believe him. I kept a watch on the sword. I have watched and waited all these years, waited for the promise to come true, for the sword's new owner to bring me to you, to take me to the secret temple. You protected it well. In fact, the temple is still hidden from my sight, but I do not need to see the temple in order to destroy it. I simply need to know where it is.
Alondra turns pale, and there's a feverish light in her eyes.
The Echo of Discard, I presume.
Knight Commander. That is how one ought to address you, yes. I've been watching you for a long time, and I already know how, when, and where I'm going to kill you. Mortal children like to tear the wings off of flies and butterflies, and I in turn like to have my fun with the inheritor's pets.
Oh, we'll see about that, you big nasty bug. I'm about to hit you with some raid.
Silence, Echo! You fiend! Do you think I do not see your secret desire? Eredin overthrew you. He brought his hand down upon you and crushed you like a gnat. Since that day, you have nursed your resentment and jealousy, letting them fester within you. You are too much of a coward for honest combat. You prefer to ambush your prey, striking from the shadows. I will put an end to this. I will put an end to you. And you will take the secret of Pelura's fall with you to your grave.
There is so much you do not see, Herald.
Suddenly, the Echo stops short. His head twitches from side to side, then falls forward into his chest. His hands down limply like a doll. Time seems to slow as he stands there unmoving. The air grows thick and heavy. Then the Echo raises his head, turning it from side to side, as if assessing his surroundings. As you look into his blank eyes, you realize it is no longer the Echo who stares back at you, but something entirely different.
Let's see. The stench of the upper planes and the abyss. Colorful flashes. Magic that deflects the gaze and obscures the vision. It must be Pelura, the mistress of bright lights, who has tried to hide her temple in my domain. How could you let such a thing happen, Iomade, the imposter? Don't you feel sorry for your angelic allies? You should have just ordered them to serve their priest up on a platter to me. The end result would be the same.
The Herald's knuckles are white as he grips the hilt of his sword. However, the angel remains silent. Okay, so, I'm gonna whisper to the Herald. Is that the Scar himself speaking? Could he attack us?
I do not know the limits of his power, but if he decides to attack, I will protect you, even if it costs me my life. I will do my best to carry you to a safe place.
So, my echo has found the Temple of Polura. I wouldn't call it an achievement, but it's not bad for a magnet molded from the souls and bodies of mortals. What else? Gold, light, a sweet smell. It all seems suspiciously like heaven. Well then, Iomade the Imposter, whom have you sent? Could it be your herald? And your new pet from Canabras? Or have I already killed that one? I lose track of such things. There are so many of them fussing about with their halos and wings, babbling their long, arduous prayers to some self-proclaimed goddess. Will you ever get tired of sending your favorites to the slaughter? Nothing to say, imposter? One day I will knock on the doors of heaven and you will have to answer. So remain silent for now and observe. Today there will be no bloodshed. I will send the echo back to the abyss right now.
Feels strange oppressive presence suddenly disappear. The echo remains still frozen as if in a trance.
You will not take our secret to the abyss, you monster!
Okay, so
Your main flaw is predictability, pawns of heaven. I already know your next move, your methods, your plans of defense. I know how to catch you off guard, and it's as simple as catching a bird in a cage. I will return to the abyss as my lord has ordered, but I am not retreating in defeat. I am carrying off my prey. The screams of your stupid priestess will haunt your every waking moment, and thoughts of her will taunt you in the silence of the night. She will be my entertainment until you are within my grasp.
no, he's taking the priestess. He drug her to hell with her. I mean, to the abyss. They're different in this game. Oh no, Kater's not gonna be happy. Dang, the demons, and all their cunning guile. The echo escaped with a prisoner, and I could do nothing to stop it. I was only able to protect you. The echo of this guard doesn't want to face me in a fair fight, so he attacks my friends and allies. Kater, the echo of the Scari, has taken Elandria? She was the heart of Balor's fall, and now the heart has been ripped out. Why is the echo pursuing you, Hand of the Inheritor? My lady Iomade inherited the throne of heaven from the great Aradin, the same Aradin who overthrew the echo and stopped the Scari's last attempt to break through the Golorian. This is why the Echo hates anything and anyone associated with Aradin's legacy. And, of course, that legacy includes Iomade as her herald. I just happen to be the first in line. Now that the demons know the temple exists, the temple's inhabitants must be brought to dressing. I will simply speak with everyone, and if necessary, organize a retreat to safety. However, I can tell you that none of them will wish to flee. If I ask them to save themselves, the answer will be no. We've given too much to this mission. We cannot abandon it now. We must finish it. For Pelura, for the memory of Socorus, and for the entire world. We will stay in this temple for as long as it takes to finish our work, even if we have to fend off the demons. Besides, even if the demons know the exact location of the temple, Pelura's patronage still shields our sanctuary from their eyes. We will still stand our ground. I have faith. The Sky spoke to us himself. I wouldn't say he spoke to us. The angel gesticulates angrily. He was addressing my celestial lady, Yomide. He must have thought she was watching us. This demon lord never wastes his time communicating with mortals, even with celestials. He barely notices us, or at least pretends not to. Ha ha ha. Why didn't the Echo fight us? It's not easy to explain without delving more deeply into the nature of the demons themselves, and more specifically, the Echo Discari. The hand of the inheritor speaks slowly as if he's reluctant to continue. Demons are created by the Abyss to have a single purpose. They are made to destroy, desecrate, and torture. But the Echo Discari is not a real demon. His monstrous creator used his own power and the souls of his mortal followers to make the Echo into what he is today. He was not born in the Abyss, but on Galorian, and Discari wanted to use him to open a way into the world. I have faced this monster before, and have defeated it in many battles, but his soul is indefinitely vile, and filled with pride, a pride that has been wounded. The Echo suffered a terrible defeat at the hands of Eridan, and was exiled to the Abyss, vanquished and disgraced. Then his pride took another blow when a simple human witch, Arulu Vorlish, succeeded where he had failed. She opened a way for the demon hordes into the mortal world. So if you wish to understand the Echo, you must understand that he is wounded and angry, eager to have revenge for all of his grievances and failures and defeats. And that's why it's not enough for him to simply kill his enemies, even when he can easily overpower them. He wants those who stand against him to suffer and thrash in helpless rage, just as he did. That's why he chose not to fight, and why he did not bring a horde of demons with him, even though he has them at his command. No, he wants sadness and terror to poison our souls. He wants our hearts to be heavy with grief when we think about the ally he stole from us. The Echo wants our minds to be filled with the horrors and tortures of the Abyss, so that when we sleep, the screams of pain and prayers for help become nightmares that wake us from our slumber. The angel trails off. Dang it, Angel. Do you want me to howl with rage or sadness? Alondria is in the hands of that monster. I can't even rush to her rescue, because now I bear sole responsibility for our entire community. What can we do to save the Echo's victim? He went to the Abyss, to the rasping rifts, the dominions of his lord. Even if our hearts wish it, we cannot simply rush after him. Incursions into the Abyss are hundreds of times more dangerous than anything you've faced before. Champion. So dangerous, I would not risk sending you there unless it was absolutely necessary. The angel sighs heavily. I will return to you to Dresden, and then I will send a message to heaven. If I turn to the sources of wisdom, perhaps I will find something that will help. We must not lose hope, no matter how dire things may be. And I would ask you, mighty champion, to look for Targona the angel. She is a light that must shine among the ranks of the Crusaders once more. One day, we will finally give the Echo of Discari what he deserves. Then we'll save everyone he has ever threatened. But now, it's time for us to return to Dresden. Champion, prepare for war. Okay, cool. Alright guys, I think that's going to be enough for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to. Shout out to the little nephews and cuz views. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. For my German viewers, choose. For my Americans, deuces. I'm sure I'm going to have to read a little bit more here. And after that, I will tell you what I'm going to say. Dang, this thing is really like loading right now. Cool. Oh, don't have to say anything else? Cool. Then I'll see you in the next one.